This has gotten a little bit out of control. We probably built these shelves about a year ago, and they're already full, which means eventually we're gonna add some more rows, but for now, we recognize that we filled them up because we just knew we had space to bring more books home, and that's not good, so. This little groovy is one of the few trinkets we have like sprinkled throughout the shelf. He's sitting on a stack of like educational and professional development books that we have. We did kind of thin out that corner, and a few things are going to like our desks at work and whatnot. Top right corner is comics, graphic novels, and a bunch of Winona Earp doodads. That middle shelf, that has always been series in alphabetical order, and the lower shelf has been meant to be standalones in alphabetical order. But we are just not accumulating them equally, and it's creating a real clogged up situation on the bottom shelf. So we've decided to just alphabetize the whole thing, with the exception of moving those mass market paperbacks to kind of mimic the wedge situation we have going on the right side with the Series of Unfortunate Events and the Hardy Boys, so that we can start the alphabeticals, mix everything together. We do have books in other areas of our house. We have a TBR shelf that could never fit in this room if we do get our act together and read all of those books. We have books on our nightstands, we have books on end tables. As you can tell from this glimpse at our collection, we really aren't hardcover people. The few hardcovers that we do have are in this room if they belong in a series, and otherwise they're on a book tower in our living room, which does add a really cool pop of color to that room, and is a great utilization of the hardcovers to me. But they would also take up a ton of space on these shelves, and clearly we don't have that much space to work with. It's time to redo the alphabetization. I'm a little bit worried at how the color will lay out. I don't want like huge chunks of black or really sporadic pops of color. In a dream world, it would just kind of be equally random, but I know I could never be that lucky. We have a lot of darker books looking at that desk situation, and we have a really weird mixture of series and not, so like a great example is all of these Alexandra Bellafleur books and Ashley Herring Blake books. They sit together, but they're really bright and vibrant, and it stands out in the section, and so I'm gonna end up making a horizontal stack with them, because in my mind, all of those go together anyways. We are missing the third one of the Written in the Stars trilogy. That is on the TBR shelf for Nash, and I do really like that these books go together on our shelf, and that's a perfect example of something that just kind of scratches my brain in this organization. And would you look at that, our episode of the L Word ended, so we've gotta hit play on the next one. I've been having to edit this around what's been on that TV screen in the bottom, and that has been a challenge I should have foreseen when this is what we chose to listen to while doing the organization. Here I'm encountering a really big, solid, dark blob with those Leigh Bardugo books, and once again, it's making me really appreciative of the balance between it and all of those colorful queer romance novels. And Nash is kind of actually killing it on the wedge situation with the mass markets. Something that both of us just are always constantly frustrated about is the variation in mass market size, because mass market implies that they're all the same, and they're not. They never are. It'd be too easy, right? For Christmas, I was gifted the newer set of ACOTAR books. I previously had the first two books in those like horrendous human covers, and so this is a really good upgrade, and it's got me excited to start the series. I think I'm gonna do that in the spring though. And here's where we're kind of getting a little bit worried about if we're gonna make it to the end and have a weird gap, if we're gonna make it to the end and still have more books. We really didn't know what was gonna happen at this point. Turns out we have the perfect amount of space left over for the embarrassingly tiny amount of nonfiction books we own, and that's a wrap on the shelf. I think it looks really clean. There's no room to move anything, so I guess we're going to be building those new rows sooner than we think we are. But this is, once again, like a childhood dream absolutely fulfilled. And as much of a chore as it is to do a complete reorganization of this many books, I kind of love it. I think it's really fun. It's something that you can always change. I love looking back at past shelf videos to see what we had going on and how much we've grown. So thanks for sticking around.